Al-Waleed bin Talal bin Abdulaziz Al Saud is a Saudi business magnate, investor, and philanthropist. He is a member of the Saudi royal family. Waleed was listed as one of Time magazine's Time 100, an annual list of the 100 most influential people in the world in 2008. Waleed is a nephew of Saudi King Abdullah, a grandson of Ibn Saud, the first Saudi king, and a grandson of Riad Al Solh, Lebanon's first prime minister. Al-Waleed is the founder, the chief executive officer and 95% owner of the Kingdom Holding Company, a Forbes Global 2000 company with investments in companies within various sectors such as banking and financial services, hotels and hotel management companies, mass media, entertainment, retail, agriculture, petrochemicals, aviation, technology, and real estate. The company has market cap of over $18 billion in 2013. Waleed is also Citigroup's largest individual shareholder, the second largest voting shareholder in News Corporation. He owns Pariser Euro unregistered trademark S4 Seasons Hotel George V and part of Plaza Hotel. His business acumen and shrewd entrepreneurial prowess have earned him comparisons to American investor and business magnate Warren Buffett. Due to his prominence as a businessman, he was acknowledged by Time magazine, who labeled the prince as the A-Euro-OE Arabian Warren Buffett a in March 2013. Forbes listed Al-Waleed as the 26th richest man in the world, with an estimated net worth of $20 billion. Al-Waleed disputes the Forbes valuation and believes his wealth to be $26 billion. Bloomberg later estimated his wealth as $30 billion. In December 2013, Arabian Business estimated his wealth at $31.2 billion, while it also ranked him as the most influential Arab in the world. Early life and education. Al-Waleed was born in Riyadh on March 7, 1955. His parents are Prince Talal and Mona Al Solh, daughter of Riad Al Solh, Lebanon's first prime minister. His father, Prince Talal, was Saudi Arabia Euro unregistered trademark S finance minister in the early 1960s, before he went into exile due to his advocacy of political reform. Al-Waleed's parents separated when he was 7, and he returned to Saudi Arabia with his mother. As a youth, Al-Waleed would run away from home for a day or two and sleep in the back of unlocked cars. He would later attend military school in Riyadh, where he learned a strict discipline to which he continues to adhere. Al-Waleed received a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration from Menlo College in California in 1979. He then received a master's degree in Social Science with honors from Syracuse University in 1985. Business career, business ventures and investments. Al-Waleed's business acumen and shrewd entrepreneurial prowess have earned him comparisons to American investor and business magnate Warren Buffett. Due to his rising prominence as a businessman, he was acknowledged by Time magazine, who labeled the prince as the A-Euro-OE Arabian Warren Buffett a Al-Waleed began his business career in 1979 upon graduation from Menlo College. He returned to Saudi Arabia, which was in the midst of the 1974 €85 oil boom. Operating from a small prefabricated office in Riyadh, he became active in construction contracts and real estate and amassed a sizable fortune. He was first profiled by Forbes in 1988. Following the end of the Saudi oil boom, Al-Waleed altered strategies and acquired United Saudi Commercial Bank, an underperforming Saudi Arabian bank. He rapidly turned the bank around and through subsequent mergers with Saudi Cairo Bank and Samba turned it into one of the leading Middle Eastern banks. His activities as an investor came to prominence in the West when he bought a substantial tranche of shares in Citigroup in 1991 when the company was in crisis. With an initial investment of $550 million to bail out Citibank caused by underperforming American real estate loans and Latin American businesses, his holdings in Citigroup now comprise about $1 billion. In 1997, Time reported that Al-Waleed owned about 5% of News Corporation. In 2010, Al-Waleed's stake in News Corporation was about 7%, amounting to $3 billion. In 2013, News Corporation had a $175 million investment in Al-Waleed's Rotana Group, the Arab world's largest entertainment company. This review of his holdings also referred to the Al-Waleed investment AOL as if it was perhaps in the past. His stake in Citibank once accounted for approximately half of his wealth, prior to the financial crisis of 2007-08. At the end of 1990, he bought 4.9% of Citicorp a unregistered trademark S existing common shares for $207 million the most that he could without being legally obliged to declare his interest. In February 1991, he spent $590 million buying new preferred shares, convertible into common shares at $16 each. This amounted to a further 10% of Citicorp and took his stake to 14.9%. In 1999, The Economist expressed doubts about the source of income of Al-Waleed and whether he is a front man for other Saudi investors who could barely clothe a Saudi prince for such sums, let alone furnish him with a multi-billion-dollar empire. Nevertheless, by 1991 Prince Al-Waleed had felt able to risk an investment of $797 million in Citicorp, wrote the magazine. Later, he also made large investments in AOL, Apple Incorporated, MCI Incorporated, Motorola, Fox News, and other technology and media companies. Al-Waleed's stake in Apple was sold in 2005. Al-Waleed also invested in Eastman Kodak and the airline TWA. These investments have both performed poorly. His real estate holdings have included large stakes in the Four Seasons hotel chain and the Plaza Hotel in New York. He sold half of his shares in the latter in August 2004. He has made investments in London's Savoy Hotel and Monaco's Monte Carlo Grand Hotel. He currently holds a 10% stake in Euro Disney SCA, the company that owns, manages, and maintains Disneyland Paris in Marne-la-Vallée. In January 2005, Al-Waleed purchased the Savoy Hotel in London for an estimated GBP £250 million, to be managed by Fairmont Hotels and Resorts. His sister, Sultanina, owns an estimated 16% stake. In January 2006, in partnership with the U.S. real estate firm Colony Capital, Kingdom Holding acquired Toronto-based Fairmont Hotels and Resorts for an estimated $3.9 billion. In 2009, it was reported that Al-Waleed owned 35% of Research and Marketing Group, reportedly the largest media company in the Middle East. In August 2011, Al-Waleed announced that his company had contracted Bin Laden Group to build the next tallest building in the world, the Kingdom Tower, at a height of at least 1,000 meters for SR $4.6 billion. The original plan announced in 2008 called it OL plus or minus 000 USU at 1,609 meters and an estimated cost of $10 billion. In December 2011, Al-Waleed invested $300 million in Twitter through the purchase of secondary shares from insiders. The purchase gave Kingdom Holding a more than 3% share of the company, which was valued at $8 billion in late summer 2011. Estimate of net worth in Forbes Billionaires list. In 2013, Kerry A. Dolan, the editor of Forbes' annual Billionaires list, wrote an article entitled Prince Al-Waleed and the Curious Case of Kingdom Holdings Stock, which accompanied the list's publication that year. Dolan claimed Al-Waleed placed significant importance on the Forbes list and highlighted a supposed correlation between changes in the share price of Kingdom Holdings and the period time leading up to the list's publication. This correlation was later disputed by Jeffrey Towson, a former employee of Al-Waleed, in a blog post. Towson alleged that Forbes had skewed the axis of the published share price chart to highlight the asserted correlation. In the article, Dolan states Al-Waleed would blind copy Dolan on text messages he sent to prominent people with the goal of impressing her. She also spent a week with him in Riyadh in 2008, at his behest, touring his palaces. In 2006, Forbes estimated his net worth as $7 billion less than Al-Waleed claimed. He telephoned Dolan at her home, with Dolan claiming that he sounded nearly in tears. Al-Waleed also had Kingdom Holdings' chief financial officer fly to New York before a previous list had been published to ensure that Forbes used his stated numbers. The article explains the methodology behind Forbes' 2013 estimate of his wealth, examines Kingdom Holdings' share performance, and features Dolan's communications with Shadi Sanbar, the CFO of Kingdom Holdings. Sanbar insisted that Al-Waleed unregistered trademark's name be removed from the billionaires list if Forbes did not increase its valuation of his wealth. Dolan wrote that, A.S. Forbes asked increasingly specific questions in the process of fact-checking this story. The prince acted unilaterally the day before it was published, announcing through his office that he would sever ties with the list. Sanbar wrote in a press release that Prince Al-Waleed has taken this step as he felt he could no longer participate in a process which resulted in the use of incorrect data and seemed designed to disadvantage Middle Eastern investors and institutions. Al-Waleed responded to the Forbes article in an interview with the Sunday Telegraph in March 2013 to say he would pursue legal action against the magazine. "They are accusing me of market manipulation," Al-Waleed said. "This is all wrong and a false statement. We will fight it all the way against Forbes." He called the Forbes list flawed and inaccurate, and alleged that Forbes displays bias against Middle East investors and financial institutions. Jeffrey Towson, Al-Waleed's former head of direct investments for MENA and Asia Pacific, published a white paper in response to the Forbes article titled "The 8 Big Mistakes in Forbes' Attack on Prince Al-Waleed." Towson wrote that Forbes' explanation of his, Al-Waleed's, behavior, his business and his investment strategy is one of the worst I have ever seen. It is full of mistakes and mischaracterizations. The tone is bad, but the content is worse. The Guardian reported that on June 6, 2013, Al-Waleed had launched a defamation claim in London against the publisher of Forbes, its editor, Randall Lane, and 2 journalists from the magazine. Forbes announced its surprise at the libel action, and the fact it was launched in London. Forbes said that the prince's suit would be precisely the kind of libel tourism that the UK's recently passed libel reform law is intended to thwart. "We would anticipate that the London High Court will agree." Forbes stands by its story. Forbes had not been served with a lawsuit by June 20. A statement later issued by Al-Waleed's Kingdom Holding Company accused Forbes of publishing a deliberately insulting and inaccurate description of the business community in Saudi Arabia and specifically, Forbes' denigration of the Saudi Stock Exchange, which is one of the most regulated in the world. Al-Waleed claimed that Forbes used an irrational and deeply flawed valuation methodology, which is ultimately subjective and discriminatory. Philanthropy, beyond business. Al-Waleed is an active philanthropist. Much of Al-Waleed's charitable activities are in the field of educational initiatives to bridge gaps between Western and Islamic communities. Over the years, he has funded a number of centers of American studies in universities in the Middle East and centers of Islamic studies in Western universities, which has caused Campus Watch and Jewish American interest groups to question the center's academic autonomy. Controversial donation after the 11th September attacks. Immediately after the September 11th attacks, Al-Waleed gave a check for $10 million to New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani. He publicized a written statement upon his donation, stating, "At times like this, we must address some of the issues that led to such a criminal attack. I believe the government of the United States of America should re-examine its policies in the Middle East and adopt a more balanced stance toward the Palestinian cause." As a result of his statement, Giuliani returned the check. Al-Waleed spoke to a Saudi weekly magazine regarding the rejection of his check by the mayor. "The whole issue is that I spoke about their position on the Middle East conflict and they didn't unregistered trademark T like it because there are Jewish pressures and they are afraid of them." Palestinians. In 2002, Al-Waleed donated £18.5 million to the families of Palestinians during a TV telethon following Israeli operations in the West Bank city of Jenin. The telethon was ordered by Saudi King Fahd to help relatives of Palestinian martyrs. The Saudi government maintained the term martyrs, a reference to Palestinians, who were victimized by Israeli terror and violence. Phillips Academy. In 2002, Al-Waleed donated $500,000 to help fund the George Herbert Walker Bush Scholarship at Phillips Academy in Andover, Massachusetts. 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake. In 2004, Al-Waleed contributed $17 million to victims of the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami. Western universities. On May 8, 2008, Al-Waleed gave £16 million to Edinburgh University to fund the Centre for the Study of Islam in the Contemporary World. An active centre at the American University of Beirut is also established by a fund from Prince Al-Waleed, namely, the Prince Al-Waleed bin Talal bin Abdulaziz Al Saud Center for American Studies and Research. 1. The Institute for Computation Biomedicine at Weill Cornell Medical College is named for Al-Waleed. Assets. Al-Waleed owns the 54th largest private yacht in the world, the 85.9-meter yacht Kingdom 5KR, originally built as the Nabila for Saudi arms dealer Adnan Khashoggi in 1979. The yacht posed as the Flying Saucer, the yacht of James Bond villain Largo in the film Never Say Never Again. It was later sold to American business magnate and investor Donald Trump, who renamed her Trump Princess. Al-Waleed bought back the yacht after Trump's second bankruptcy. Al-Waleed has ordered a new yacht currently known as the New Kingdom 5KR, which will be about 173 meters long and carries an estimated cost of over $500 million. The yacht is rendered by Lindsay Design and the design were delivered in late 2010. However, there has been no news regarding this project more recently and it is not known whether construction has even started. Al-Waleed owns several aircraft, all converted for private use, a Boeing 747, an Airbus 321 and a Hawker Siddeley 125. Al-Waleed was the first individual to purchase an Airbus A380 and was due to take delivery of it in the spring of 2013, but it was sold before delivery. Among his many assets are a 95% stake in Kingdom Holding Company, a 91% ownership of Rotana Video and Audio Visual Company, a 90% ownership of LBC Sat, 7% ownership of News Corporation, about a 6% ownership of Citigroup, and a 17% ownership of Al Naha and a 25% ownership of Al Daya, two daily newspapers published in Lebanon. Al-Waleed topped the first Saudi rich list issued in 2009, with a fortune of $16.3 billion. Palaces, personal life. The first wife of Al-Waleed was Talal bint Saud, a daughter of King Saud. They have two children, Reem and Khalid. They later divorced. Awards. First Order of the Order of Abdulaziz Al Saud from Saudi Arabia, Commander, National Order of Cedar from Lebanon. In December 2, 2009, Al-Waleed received the Order of Azzuddin bestowed upon HRH by the President of the Maldives, Mohammed Nasheed. He also received the Star of Palestine, the highest honor conferred by the State of Palestine, in 2009. In 2010, Al-Waleed was given the Dwight D. Eisenhower Award for Innovation. He received the Bahrain Medal of the First Order, the Counter-Euro Unregistered Trademark's highest honorary medal in late May 2012. He received a Nepalese honorary medal of the Third Order Marojval Rastradip Mampadvi, which is the highest medal for any foreigner, in August 2012. He was also awarded the Guinea-Bissau's Kalina de Beau Medal in August 2012. In June 2013, he was awarded the Grand Commander of the Order of the Republic of Sierra Leone, highest national honor of the country. References. Further reading: Khan, Riz, Al-Waleed, Businessman Billionaire Prince ISBN 0-06-085030-2, external links, Al-Waleed bin Talal on Twitter.